Hey, sports porchers. It's your hockey Jesus, and I'm back for game 55 analysis of Pittsburgh Penguins versus the Philadelphia Flyers. Well, tonight, Pittsburgh Penguins play against the Flyers. And I tell you what, this was a barn burner from the beginning. So much analysis to get into, but somehow the Penguins pull off a 7-6 win. Didn't even give up a loser point, which is probably the most important thing. Woo! There's so much to unpack, so sit back and relax and let your hockey Jesus help you figure it out. Because we're here, and that's what we do. Welcome to the Sports Porch. I'm your hockey Jesus. Let's get this thing going. Well, sports porchers, I don't even know where to begin with this one, but let's just jump right in. Sidney Crosby, 4 points, just torches the Flyers. I'm telling you, if I'm a Philadelphia Flyers fan, which I will never be, but if I was and I saw Sid with 4 points tonight, I'm just sick to my stomach, honestly. He kills the Flyers so much. I know everybody probably saw this statistic that, all the people who've ever scored against the Philadelphia Flyers, Sidney Crosby's number one. He's probably got 130 points now. I know he's at 126 at one point during the game, but that's just crazy. I mean, he just, from the very beginning of his career, when those Flyers fans, just crucified him in Philadelphia, he had a vendetta to really just stick it to the Flyers every time he could. Sidney Crosby, they love to call him a crying baby, all that stuff. He loves it. I mean, he's a competitor. He's going to get up for that. He definitely did today. And I know the game was not in Philadelphia. It was at home. But wow, so much to break down. Let's talk about this. So Flyers come out. Penguins play their typical first period where they decide to take the first 5 minutes off, which either they come out smoking or they come out just eh. And you know what? At the time, I was like, man, Jari doesn't look like he's on. And you can tell with Jari, when he's not on right away, he's never on. He had a 714 save percentage tonight, and he absolutely was not on. But hey, neither was Peterson for the Flyers. So, they were kind of canceled each other out as far as who sucked more regarding the goalies. That first goal, I guess it was tipped. They ended up giving it to the guy in front who tipped it, but still, that's something that Jari normally does save when he is on. So it's 1-0. And I told you before, my friends, my disciples of hockey, that I just don't get too excited when the Penguins go down 1-0. In fact, I think it gets them going in the right direction because I've said it time and time again. The statistics prove me to be true that the Penguins always need to get to 4 goals. And when they get scored on first, they usually have to get the 4 goals in order to win the game. And boom, boom, right? Just like that. The first line came and they get 2 goals back to back. Sid and Rust score 2-1. You're like, okay, 2-1, end of the first. Next goal is going to be huge. It's going to be everything. If they can get to that third goal, this game's in the bag. Well, just hold on for a second. So Forrester scores. By the way, I think Forrester is the Philadelphia Flyers' new superstar. I love this kid. I think he's got a great scoring touch. For him to take that puck off the knee in the third period and then come back, that shows he's also playing with some guts. I think he's going to be great for Philadelphia, and that pains me to say because I know Philadelphia is probably on their way this way and Pittsburgh's on their way this way. Have they passed them this year? Maybe not. I don't know. There's lots of hockey to be played yet in this season, so I'm not going to say that yet. But Forrester scores. He ties it up. And then Rust comes and gets a power play goal. A power play goal. I was actually getting ready to make a bet, and I don't bet, but if the Hockey Jesus did bet, I was getting ready to make a bet there was going to be a shorthanded goal score there. Instead, what do? We get the power play goal. Rusty right up the middle. Just beautiful. Love it. That was really great to see. And then Penguins get another power play, and they get another goal from the new guy, Emil Benstrom. Look, I don't know if you know, but they traded Nylander and probably a 6th-round pick. Now it might be a 3rd-round pick because it's a conditional pick in the 26th draft. It'll be a 6th-round pick if he only scores, I think it's 4 goals for the Penguins, or maybe it's 6 goals. I think it's 6 goals for the Penguins, and he's got 1 in 1 game. So it's looking like he might be a 3rd-round pick. Honestly, Columbus is probably thrilled that he scored that goal as much as we are. And we go 4-2. So you're like, great. 4-2. Looks like all we got to do is hold on the rest of the second period. Go into the third period with a 2-goal lead. And no, that's not going to happen. Sandheim scores again. And then Lawton scores a shorty. Just what was Carlson thinking on that play? Somebody help me out. Like, I love Carlson, and I know he's not a big defenseman, but come on, dude. Like, don't just skate past a guy that's coming behind you and go to the back of the net, and it goes right to Lawton, and he just buries it. I mean, it was the wraparound, so Jari wasn't in a great position. Once again, didn't have a great game. So they tie it up. I threw my playbook. Hey, by the way, this is my playbook right here. I always keep notes every game. I get a page per book, and I just threw it across the room. I had enough. Those shorthanded goals just drive me crazy. I know they're coming, and I know Philadelphia is the best in the league at it. I can't understand it. And it wasn't even Konechny, because Konechny wasn't even playing tonight. Him and Ristolainen both injured for the Flyers, which, by the way, I think super helped the Penguins tonight too. Those two guys are tough guys to play against. They do a really good job against the first line, as you can tell, because the first line went off tonight. So they tied up. We're going into the third period, tied 4-4. I don't know if you watch the TNT stuff between periods. I try not to watch too much of it, but my goodness, Biz was just he was insane about, I guess there's a Flyers guy who works for TNT behind the scenes. It was kind of funny. I know it was all stage. It was like wrestling, but it was kind of funny how they were kind of going at it. That's who Biz is. He's just a crazy man. I thought there were actually a lot of Pittsburgh and Philadelphia connections. They had Boucher announcing the game, former goalie for Philadelphia. So there were a lot of ties back and forth. Granato obviously was once on the bench behind for the Pittsburgh Penguins for a minute or two. So Biz played for the Pens. So it's fun to watch. But he was like, let's go, Pens. Come on, we got to get this together. And I was thinking the same thing. I thought the next goal was huge, and Drew O'Connor delivers. Hey, good for Malkin recognizing, Drew's got the scoring touch now. He actually has 3 goals in the last 3 games. Good for this kid. I said it last broadcast. I said it last YouTube video that I think Drew O'Connor deserves everything he's getting, and he absolutely does. I'm not so sure if I like him so much on that second line, but look, Rusty got injured tonight, so he's definitely going to be on that second line. I don't know the extent of Rust's injury. We'll see as they make this West Coast trip. My guess is he'll probably be on the plane. If he's not, then that could be a long-term injury, because they've got 4 games on the West Coast here in the next week. So if he doesn't make that trip, I don't know what they're going to do, but we'll talk about that after the next game. Drew O'Connor scores, and then Raquel gets a sweet pass from Sid. They're up 6-4. I'm celebrating. I got my book in hand. I'm thrilled. And then York scores to make it 6-5. And I'm like, here we go again. And I just don't know what to think. I was on edge for sure. Look, this Flyers team is very resilient, even though they didn't have those 2 players I was talking about, Konechny and Ristolainen. And I know Ristolainen's not a goal scorer, but Konechny is. He definitely would have had a goal or 2 tonight. What are you going to do? They're not going to lie down. They really believe in the Torch system, and they just don't stop coming. And you know what? They played yesterday too. And I thought, at times, I think I wrote, they look like they're getting slower, look like they're getting tired. And I just thought that the Pens would do it, but they find a way to score goals, and they get into the slot, they get into really greasy areas. With Jari not being on, that York, there's no way that should have went in. There's absolutely a good Jari gets that every time, and he was not a good Jari tonight. But hey, somehow, some way, some shape, and some form, Letang gets that 7th goal, makes it 7-5. And the celebration begins again until Forrester scores to make it 7-6. 7-6 was the final, but I tell you what, those last 2 minutes, that was not fun to sit through. It felt like playoff hockey, where it's just like, don't let them shoot, clear the puck. Everybody, on both sides of the ice, it's like, I'm sure everybody from Philadelphia was yelling, shoot it, just get it on goal. Anything can go in on Jari tonight. And I think both teams felt that tonight. Hey, look, the big winner tonight, Pittsburgh Penguins 7-6, Sidney Crosby 4 points. Look, I've told you about these Pittsburgh Penguins. They're starting to get going, but they're not even close to halfway there. They got to do this like 4 or 5 more times in a row if they think they're going to have a chance. I know they got a lot of games on hand and this, that, and the other thing, but games on hand are only good if you're winning them. And look, here's what's coming up. Penguins are going to the West Coast. They're playing at Vancouver, at Seattle, and then they got back-to-back at Calgary and then at Edmonton. Honestly, Vancouver should be a loss and Edmonton should be a loss. They should get 4 points out of that, but truly, they need 6. They need 6 points. They got to find a way to either win at Vancouver or somehow steal a point at Vancouver or steal a point at Edmonton. It'll be really interesting. I stay up for the games. So 10 o'clock starts, people. I hope you can make it to the porch. So, victorious. That is 4 more goals in the last 5. That's 7 of the last 10 points in the last 5 games. That's the trend we need to see for the Pittsburgh Penguins to remain in this playoff hunt. When you see the playoff hunt, I'm not going to start talking about points and anything until probably about the first full week in March. Then we'll start looking at points. We'll look at standings. Right now, it's all about gaining points. They got the 60. That's a good mark. They need to get to 70 by the next Columbus game. And that's going to be a bargain for them to do. So, let's see if they can do it. Let's head to the West Coast. Let's get at least 4, hopefully 6 points. And let's keep it rolling, because that's what the Pittsburgh Penguins need. So, in a recap, Pittsburgh Penguins win 7-6. So, Pittsburgh Penguins fans, keep the faith. And let's go Pens.